So Donald Trump was giving remarks in Egypt at this summit where they were signing the Hamas-Israel ceasefire, at least the first part of it, where they were trying to formalize the first part of this 20-step plan that this administration has taken at least parts of from the Biden administration, where they looked at the playbook that was left behind by the Biden administration. Now, as Donald Trump was speaking, he left a lot of people scratching their heads, wondering what in the hell he was talking about. First things he was saying, he said, well, if you look out, you have the Egyptian desert, and you look at Air Force One, it was beautiful, but just months ago, it was buried under Egyptian desert, and now it's just under our window outside. It was really beautiful, and I love looking at it. And it might be slightly off there, but that is almost a word-for-word quote coming from the President of the United States, and I have no idea what he was talking about. It doesn't make any sense, but this is who Donald Trump is. Then he was talking about Viktor Orban, the authoritarian dictator of Hungary. And Donald Trump said something that was actually true. And he said, Mr. Orban, you're fantastic. You know, most of the people here won't agree with me, but I do. I think you're great. I think you're fantastic. And mine is the only opinion that matters. You're great. Something to that effect. But he said his was the only opinion that matters. And that is true when it comes to Donald Trump. He only cares if somebody else's opinion is either flattering him or if they're agreeing with him. Otherwise, he doesn't care what your opinion is. And then he turned to Italian Prime Minister Meloni, and she was standing behind him, and Lord knows what she might have been smelling back there, because we know Donald Trump has issues with continence and things like that. And he turned to her and said, well, you have this woman back here, and it might be a bad thing to say, and in my country, if you'd say it, you'd be canceled and your political career would be over, but she's a beautiful woman. You know she had to be uncomfortable hearing that. And what that had to do with anything else, who knows? Donald Trump is spinning this. He's saying these things out of just because. Why? Because he can say whatever he wants, and there's nobody here really pushing back against him on our side, on the media. And his comments get played. The rest of the world thinks he's a fool and a laughingstock. They hear the same things we do. If this was Joe Biden, Fox News would be running most of those clips all day, every day, about how incompetent and how senile Joe Biden was. But because it's Donald Trump and the Republican Party has no tricks up their sleeve besides Donald Trump, they keep propping him up and trying to pass him off as some kind of a genius. He is very clearly suffering cognitive issues. This just proves another example of why we're worried about his health.